Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this tutorial, I'll be demonstrating how to create this fondant marble drip cake decorated with lots of delicious chocolates. I used a 10-inch and a 7-inch cake for this project. This is the 7-inch cake. I've created a rim of ganache around the outside of each layer, and then I filled in with a butterscotch flavored buttercream. Make sure that it's nice and flat and it touches the rim but doesn't go over that rim of ganache. And this is basically going to keep my buttercream separate from the outside of the cake. Sometimes if you try to ganache the outside of a cake and you have buttercream on there, buttercream and ganache sometimes do not want to play nice together, so it's really hard to get the cake to be smooth and for the ganache to actually stick to the cake. So this is why I have that rim. Create a thin layer of frosting around the cake. This is going to trap any crumbs and become our crumb coat. Once your cake is completely covered in ganache, grab a scraper, go around the cake till it's nice and neat, and then pop your cake into the freezer to set for 10 minutes or into the fridge to set for 20. Do the exact same thing with your bottom tier. This is the 10-inch cake and it's sitting on a 12-inch cake board. I microwaved my ganache slightly so that it would be a little bit more fluid and it'll give me a little bit more time to work with. Since it's a larger cake, it does take a little bit more time and you don't want your ganache to sit on you before you've had the chance to smooth it down. Fill in any pockets, and then once you're happy with how smooth your cake is, you can return it back to the fridge for at least 40 minutes. And that way it's nice and firm and it makes your job a lot easier as you cut off that top edge rather than bringing it into the center. You end up having a lot sharper edges this way. The really sharp knife that I'm using here has been placed under hot water, so it's nice and hot and it's gliding through that ganache. Back into the fridge she goes, and in the meantime we're going to create that marbled fondant. So I have 3 different colored fondant. I've got white, grey and black, twisted the logs together and then rolled it into a ball. I've used some cornstarch to help it not to stick to my countertop, and then a very large silicone rolling pin to roll it out to about 3 millimeters or so in thickness. Choose which side you like better for the marble effect and then drape it over your cake. Use a fondant smoother to push any of the air that's trapped out from the very top of the cake. Seal in the very top edge to make sure it's stuck to your cake, because that's where your fondant is most likely to rip. And then pull apart the pleats and gently massage your fondant onto your cake. Work around until you reach the very bottom. Make sure it's all nice and secure, and then grab your fondant smoother and go around, smoothing it down and really pressing that bottom edge to your cake. Cut off the excess by cutting very close to the cake. And pop your excess fondant into an airtight bag in the meantime and smooth down the sides so your fondant is nice and smooth. Clap them together at the very top edge to create a nice sharp edge, and then pop that aside and work on your bottom tier as well, following the exact same steps here. Again, I like to smooth it down and then clap the 2 scrapers or fondant smoothers together until the edge is nice and sharp. Because this is a tiered cake, you want to add dowels into the bottom tier. So I've added 5 dowels or 5 bubble tea straws, 1 in the center, then I've cut out another 4 and added like a square formation with the center one right in the middle. Cut it flush with the top of the cake and then stick the 2 tiers together using either royal icing or chocolate ganache. You could also use buttercream. Make sure it's centered. And then you can start decorating. We're going to create a white chocolate ganache. So this is Nestle white chocolate buttons and I've added in heavy cream. Recipe for ganache will be linked in the eye icon above or in the description box below. Melt that in the microwave at 30-second bursts, and here I'm adding white icing by Wilton. This creates a beautiful pale white chocolate ganache. Into a piping bag she goes, and then starting at the very top of the cake in the center, turn your turntable and slowly bring that piping bag to the edge of your cake. I stop about 1 centimeter away from the edge, and that's when I start dripping and connecting the drip to the main ganache in the center. This just ensures that I don't get an over drip. Follow the exact same steps for your bottom tier. All the tools used in this tutorial can be found in the Amazon link below. this cake would have also looked great with a black drip as well, or a grey drip. Let your cake set in the fridge for at least 40 minutes until the ganache is set before you start popping on any decorations. Here I've used caramel, popcorn, Maltesers, Ferrero Rochers, and I believe I'm missing one. And little Oreo biscuits, the mini Oreos, they were so cute. I decided to decorate the middle, the top, and also the bottom of the cake as well. I first made a crown of popcorn at the very top and then added in chocolates to fill. When adding chocolates to the base, you want to make sure that you stick it on with buttercream. Thing was, with the middle and the top, they had ganache, so the ganache was able to stick all the chocolates on there. At the bottom, you don't really have an attaching medium, so that's why you want to save some buttercream and apply your decorations using that buttercream. And you're done. And there you have a really fun marbled effect with a white drip and some chocolates. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and give it a go. Simple and all the while very effective. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and if you do recreate this, please tag me #Rosie's Dessert Spot so I can see what you guys are coming up with as well. Thanks again, and I'll catch you again next week.